Welcome to Stop Universe On Call. I am Paul Franz, owner of Franz Games. I'm on SW Online, Deadcom Online, and Starfleet Warlord. Just a reminder how to join us with a Talkcast every Thursday night starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can either call on the phone, just dial 605-562-0444, just follow the directions. And the call ID is 17702. Or you can participate on the web. Just go to the Talkshow website at www.talkshow.com, search for call ID 17702. Or you want for the best online spares, but you want to go to twitch.tv, yes, twitch.tv/SFUOnCall, and you will find us there, and you will join the chat room and see my lovely face as I stream live to Twitch. And of course, if you need to contact me for any reason, my email address is sfuoncall@gmail.com. That's SFUONCALL@gmail.com. Also, you want to follow me on the Twitters. I have a podcast account at SFUOnCall. I have my personal account at Paul Franz. That's PAULFRANZ. There's no T in that. And of course, my business account, which is Franz Games, FRANZGAMES. Again, there's no T in that. Of course, if you want, I'm also on Blue Sky. So on Blue Sky, I'm on SFUOnCall.bsky.social and also franzgames.com. So for those you listen to me enough, you know what those are for. And of course, the lovely Talkcast gets turned into a podcast available on iTunes and various other feeds around the net. Some quick news from ADB this week. Not much going on, actually, though. That's just one reminder of that the old counter sheets are still on sale. Which is counter sheet K from the Combined Operator's Manual, $1.75. The old counter sheet from the module R6. That's $3.95, and the sheet number 1 of 2 from Module K is available for $1. And SW Basic Set has its counter sheet at $7.95. And if you want the premium laser cut counter sheet with the rounded corners, you can get it for $30, i.e. $29.95. And also the Klingon border half-inch counter set, you can get those available for $7.95. Those are the regular ones, not the rounded corners. Just a reminder there. And of course, this week found on the online store, we had the Battle Force damage markers. For those of you who play Starfleet Battle Force, you have those little damage markers. Obviously, it's always good to have extras because of sometimes you run out because your fleet is so beat up. Also, if you lose them, because there's a little tiny little suckers, and those are easily lost, you get a whole bag of them for only $1.50, and those are available on the StarfleetStore.com website. Moving onward and forward, when it comes to the SFB Online tournament, of course, we have Sapphire Star 19 tournament signups are now open. I forget how many are currently signed up. I have to double check on that. But I'll keep an eye on that. Also, I'll be sending out an email this weekend. And when it comes to the 500 BPV tournament, we have, of course, on the one side, as I mentioned last week, Dana Madsen in the Klingons defeated Eddie Crutchfield in the Fed. And Justin and I, Fed versus Altorians, we got a couple turns in. Not much happening. I will go through a little bit more of that later in the podcast so that you can know what happened. It's as I said, it's relatively innocuous stuff because the first 2 turns you start at range like 60 or something, and then you close. So, we just have to. I will tell you about that later on in the podcast. And when it comes to online client stuff, I'm still working out. There's some minor issue with the 4.7.3. I haven't not figured out that yet. I plan on working that on this weekend a little bit. I do have the older versions available. If you need it, just contact me. I will put that up. Actually, I'm going to see if I can maybe create a web page for people who want older releases. They can get those older releases, and they will be available. I'm going to try to create a web page for that so people can grab those. Um, Obviously, this is going to. I plan on moving the website because it's about that time, to move it to a new server and so forth, which means some of the stuff will break and so forth. So some of the older ones will no longer work. But before I do that, I want to make sure that this is working perfectly. Moving onward and forward to the library report. There's actually I got some updates which I need to process and post, especially the general units. I will hopefully be able to do that this weekend. And when it comes to the FedCom library, still nothing happened this week there. So with that is news for this week. And it's me, one all Paul Fons, welcoming you to Starfleet Universe on Call. And tonight we've got Doug. Say hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
And you have me, of course, which is that's why you're here, right? Right? You want to listen to me, So anyhow, actually reminds me. I gotta start the circus on actually watching what I'm actually. Is this live? Okay, I think this is live. Say hi, Paul. Yeah, that's me. Okay, that's live. Okay, cool. Just wanted to
Is
make
it me
sure.
or is it Memorex?
Yeah. Well, one time I started it and I started watching the quote unquote live feed. It wasn't the live feed. It actually was recording from last week. It wasn't until I realized that, hey, I'm doing this or this, and I'm not seeing it. And because usually there's a delay, but and then all of a sudden I go, oh, wait a minute.
It's like deja vu all over again.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it is because I'm streaming. So what I'm doing is I'm sending it to the servers and then it's sending it back. So there's obviously going to be some lag because of that. But anyhow, I figured we would start this evening with a quick update because it will be very quick because it was only the first two turns. Me and Justin played for 2 hours, I think it is. 2, maybe 3, probably 2. But of course, given